If you're having trouble making money in the markets and you're not as consistent as you'd like to be, then stick around and let me show you how I made over $4,000 trading the NASDAQ last week. The two things that help me the most out of anything else is volume profile and auction market theory. How can we use these things and what are they? So, like last week's video, I'm going to do a quick overview of what volume profile is. Volume profile shows total traded volume at each price level. What does that mean? Each individual price level, it will show a certain amount of volume with a node. And this is what a volume profile would look like on a chart. This is the daily volume profile. And this will help you navigate where price is most likely going to reject from and where is it going to move next. But what does any of this mean and how can we actually use it? To find that out, we're going to have to learn about auction market theory first. So what is auction market theory and how can we even use it? Auction market theory states that either buyers or sellers are going to want to move from balance to imbalance to balance again. So, what does this mean and how can we use it? Let's pretend this is a balance here. Price is going to move in between this balance until we reach out, retest, and then move directly to another balance. That is what auction market theory states. It will move in between one balance before it moves to another balance. So how can we use this with volume profile? Well, volume profile shows that this balance is a high volume node going into a low volume node back into a high volume node, making another balance. So it'll look something like this. It'll have something like that. It'll move in between balance, then move down into another balance like this. So how can we use this and what does it look like on an actual chart? Okay, so looking at the trade I took today, we can see where are we? We're at a ledge of this current balance that is developing right now. And there's another one up here. So what do I want to trade at? These are the areas I want to trade right here, right there, that area. I want to trade at this area right here. I want to trade at this area right here. So once we get to these areas, I'm looking to take a trade to go longer. So let's see what happens. Okay, so right there, I can see, oh, buyers are kind of stepping in to push us upward, but there's nothing that's really giving me the confidence to say, yeah, I think this is a great trade to hop in now. So when we go back and we look at this trade, what are my confluences and what am I looking at to take this entry from? So we came down. Once we entered this ledge that I was already previously looking at that I just showed you, hey, what's happening here and how can we use it to enter a trade? Once we enter, we are at a ledge, lots of negative delta that is being absorbed by that limit buyer. So all that selling is being absorbed by a limit buyer to push us up in the opposite direction. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for us to hit a higher positive delta node to continue to get absorbed at the top to push us lower. So once we enter this zone of my ledge of my volume profile, I'm looking, hey, we're going to move in between these two ledges because that's where price is most likely going to go. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is kind of where I'm looking for a trade to hop in. Now that we're on the footprint, we can see, oh, this is probably a good area to jump in because we came down. A big limit order was put in right here to push us upwards, and I want to see that get respected. So when we come up and I see a candle like this to continue pushing us upwards, I'm ready to hop in that trade and to get in and make money. Alright guys, quick pause from learning. I wanted to let you know I'm starting my own one-on-one mentorship program, and if you guys want to join, click the link in the description. Now let's get back into it. Now looking at current price right now, what are we seeing? We're challenging the ledge of this zone, and we want to see if sellers are going to step in to continue pushing us lower into the bottom ledge, okay? So we're at the top ledge right now. We're seeing, oh, what's about to happen? Where are we? Let me do a quick breakdown to show you how I think through these types of trades. So the first thing I want to look at, ledge. Where are we? That's the most important thing. Where are we? What are we doing? We're at the ledge of this volume node, of this volume profile, high volume node. So we're at the ledge. We're at the top of it. What is here? What is here that is giving me some confluence to push us lower? Lots of positive delta on both the weekly and the daily. So what does that tell me? It tells me I'm expecting buyers to all jump in at that moment, once we hit this high delta node. I'm expecting the buyers to jump in, to get in and push us upwards into a new level of balance. But what does that mean? It means that buyers are going to buy, but we want to see if sellers are going to be able to hold them off like they previously did here and here to push us lower. So if sellers are able to step in right here, how can we use that? Well, we want to look at the footprint for that. So right here, now that we're looking at the footprint, what is happening? What are we seeing? If we look at previously, once we came up higher, lots of positive delta got put in at the very top of this candle, and there's a limit buyer looking to sell at that price point. So that just shows me sellers are defending this area, and they don't want buyers to push up past it. Now that sell order is gone, sellers have moved it higher. So price has an opportunity to move up to here and continue pushing upwards into and creating a new balance. So what am I looking for here? I'm looking for, if we're going to break through and retest, I want a limit buyer to be hit down here so that we can test to see if buyers are still willing to continue pushing us upwards into the sellers. And we want to use the momentum to push us higher into a new balance, or if we can get into a new area of high positive delta, that allows us to see, are we going to get absorbed here, or are we just going to continue pushing higher into further and further all-time highs? Okay, so now that price has moved a little bit more, we can actually see what's happening now. Buyers came up through here. Sellers said, no, we're going to reject you for now. We came back down. We gathered more buyers. That's what we did when we came back down. We reloaded for more buyers to push us through that seller. So when we came back down, we got more buyers to push us up. These guys didn't get absorbed. They were just pushed down by the limit seller. And we can see that if we go back, we can see that right here. This guy right here that was sitting, he said, no, you're going to go back down, collect the buyers that were sitting right here this whole time. All these red dots here, those are buyers. So when we came back down to test that area, we recollected those buyers and was able to push through that seller, especially right here, that seller to push through and continue upwards into a new balance. So right now, price is looking for a new area to trade through, and we can't do anything because we have no information to go off of here. We just have volume profile, nothing, because we're at all-time highs. So there's nothing to go off here. All we see is just, we don't have any information. All we can see is the previous delta. And delta is amazing, yes, but it can't just be used alone, because without context, delta is nothing. Okay, just a recap of volume profile and auction market theory. Volume profile has two main components to it. The high volume nodes, which are these big mountains here, and then we have low volume nodes, which are where very little price is moving, very little price is traded in that area. High volume nodes are used and treated as balance, which is used in auction market theory, because auction market theory again states that we will move in between balances, because that is where buyers and sellers agree on to trade price. So we'll move in between this balance before moving out, maybe retesting, move to another balance, then come back out, retest, move back into this balance. So that's what auction market theory and volume profile are. You use them together and it is a recipe for success. Okay, now that I'm looking at the real market, I can show you how I saw auction market theory today. You can see how we come into this balance here. We move into it, come up, test the high of the balance, then move back down to the other side of the balance to move into a new balance. How we move between them, like auction market theory states, we trade in between the ledges of the high volume nodes, which are the volume profile. So volume profile, auction market theory, we're rotating in between balances. So we entered the lower balance, we traded in between the ledges, and then we moved back up into another balance and traded in between that. And look right here, there's another balance just sitting here. We traded in between that before, again, moving higher. So that's how you can kind of look at auction market theory to place trades, and that's how you can use volume profile to map out how you can use auction market theory. So those are the two main things I use every single day to take all of my trades. So if you want to learn more from me, click the link in the bio below and sign up for my mentorship. And thank you guys again for watching this video. I hope I was able to help some of you out, and I'm going to try to produce more videos for you guys every single week explaining how I use order flow concepts to be successful in trading. So if you guys like and subscribe, I'll be able to do that more often.